In the wake of the alleged controversy with the Series 4 of the Bricklink Designer Program potentially having a little too many castle or medieval sets, more than I would prefer, Series 5 has brought restoration to the balance of the Bricklink Designer Program community with these 5 amazing finalists chosen by us as the community, finalized by the Bricklink Designer Program, and ready for us today to see. Now, if you're interested in the Bricklink Designer Program, make sure you like the video and subscribe, as I plan on making an individual video for each of these sets, taking a deeper dive into them, looking at some of the ins and outs. More than you'll see here today is just meant for an overall view at these sets at a high level, just to build up some hype and hopefully get some interaction from you all in the comments. Now, you may notice that we have some repeat visitors, as you might say. Krakenator, Jonas Krom, and Sleepless Night are repeat designers, and I'm personally all about that because these designers have proven themselves time and time again with how beautiful and how amazing their designs can get. Now, let's start right off the bat with the Thieves of Tortuga. Now, this is a big boy set, that being because it is just shy of 4,000 parts, which means my expectation is that this set will run you about $380. Let that sink in. This is a big set, though. It's got a pretty big footprint, and the designer Krakenator is no stranger to big sets. As I mentioned, he did design the Forest Stronghold for Series 3, and what an amazing large design this is for our resident castle fans, as I know many of you out there are castle fans. But this is just an amazing Forestman Stronghold. And going back to his set creation here, if you watched one of my earlier videos for the finalists, or for who I thought would be finalists, this was actually in the running as sort of an honorable mention, and it did, sure enough, become a final design. You really have a lot to offer with this set. Now, the main drawback, which they don't have any solid pictures of, is the back is open, as we can see here with this photo of the little shack here with one of the pirates. So it is, to me, that draws it back just a little bit, but when you will have this displayed, it certainly will be laid out like this. I obviously will be laid out like this on your table, on your shelf, wherever it may be, but it also allows for some play features for some kids or for just anyone in your family that might want to play with this set. It certainly has that play scale aspect with this set. So you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think about this set. It was chosen as a finalist for Series 5, like I mentioned, just shy of 4,000 parts. Now, moving on to a bit of a smaller set, and the antique shop created by that one guy, Steve, made a very simple yet beautiful design, and I think it really captures. If you've ever been to an antique shop or an antique store, it probably looks like this, if we're being completely honest. Now, going down to the size, this one is a little bit smaller at just over 1,900 pieces, which would make me believe that this would go anywhere from $160. I'd probably lean towards $170 for this set. There are a handful of stickers with this set, and not as many unique parts as we've had before with other sets. But as he mentioned there, very interesting actually, the antique shop was a submission in Series 4, but he went through some renovations, as that is a requirement generally. If you're going to resubmit a previous design, it has to have some changes. It can't just normally be the same design more than twice at least. Now, doing a little 360, I really appreciate the overall simplicity of this design. Of course, check out that little pickup truck. What a fun little pickup truck that is, just kind of an old classic style. It doesn't really scream any one specific type of truck, but it's just a fun design. And of course, it does have multi-levels to it, which is really fun, as well as apparently someone lives in this antique shop, which I feel like is very common when it comes to antique shops. The back, of course, there does appear to be some sort of power converter or just like standby generator or something like that. I do really enjoy the vinery growing up the side. That looks really, really great. But this is just a wonderful set to exist in that middle range for those that don't really want to spend $300 or all the way back down to sub $100 just to get a fun, solid building. Now let's move on to maybe one of the most hype sets, I'm sure there's going to be so much chatter about the Mushroom Village by Jonas Kram. Of course, he has created his own little subsect within the Bricklink Designer Program and the Invitational with the Mushroom House. Pardon, I don't think he was in the Invitational, but with the Mushroom House that was a part of Series 2. What a fun design. I was able to see this in person. It is going to fit in so amazingly well with the Mushroom Village. Of course, though, the Mushroom Village is a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean probably double the size of the Mushroom House as far as its total footprint. This one running about 2,400 pieces, as you see in front of me, with a lot of unique parts. Now, this one, I would have to guess it would run you anywhere from I'm just going to put it hard stop at $220 is where I would expect this one to be. No more than $230. That would really surprise me if it was over that much. But let's take a look at some of the unique factors and features of this set. Beautiful little ladybug that's designed here, of course, with the little creature, with the little Mushroom Village folk riding the ladybug. How fun is that? Little flowers here, which is, let's appreciate those flower designs. It looks like, oh my goodness, it's the shoulder pauldrons that go on the captain. That is so unique. That is so special. Of course, we have someone playing a lute. We've got an elderly man, maybe a dwarf of some sort, gathering some crystals, and then just the giant carrot. How fun is that? How overall fun is this design? I really, really appreciate this design. It looks fantastic. Of course, with the open back, so you can see the multi-level, multi-layered aspects of this set. And just actually a really fun aspect, which we'll get to here, is the fact that it's a tree stump that the creatures live in, which is, it's just so fun. It's so creative. It's so unique and refreshing to bring a subsect theme to the Bricklink Designer Program. And the community, obviously, is loving this set because it's getting chosen time and time again, fitting into its own unique area of the Bricklink Designer Program. Of course, I just noticed here a fun little pine cone. I love that little build there. So unique, so exciting. Another mushroom here to fit right alongside your mushroom house if you were able to pick up the mushroom house, because it did sell out very, very quickly. Couple more pictures to go left. We've got some closer up shots of the set here. It looks like actually this is not just a render. The designer Jonas Kram actually built this, it looks like, if I had to guess. So he is dedicated to his craft, and I'm very curious to see. I can only imagine that he will be putting more of these out there for a future program. But let's move on to the second to last one. This is Popcorn Wagon by Mikter. Very reminiscent of the Snack Shack, actually. Just a fun little build here. I feel like we've all seen a popcorn carriage like this, whether it's at a fair, a state fair, county fair, in one of those small towns maybe you visited. Just a fun little design, and this one is probably going to run you about $50, I would expect. Very similar, like I said, to that Snack Shack that was also $49.99. This is probably going to be that same price point, would be my expectation. And overall, it's just a fun build. I like how the wagon is kind of sitting on this cement area, or cobblestone, I should say. Looks like you can spin it, and maybe there's some fun features involved here. But overall, like I said, just a fun design and an easy pickup for $50. Now, lastly, probably the most highly anticipated set of the Bricklink Designer Program is Adventure in Transylvania by Sleepless Night. Of course, he designed the mountain fortress that took the community by storm, selling out in 3 hours. Now, this one technically isn't a castle medieval set. This is a science fiction set. So here we are. I love the colors. I love that dark, that just overall grungy aspect. You know, it makes you think of vampires, makes you think of that whole style. Maybe even borderlining cyberpunk, but not quite, because it's just very rustic in its design. Overall, just so fun. I love that it opens up like a bookcase. But here's the drawback. It's 4,000 parts, which means this is going to be about $380. If I had to guess, there's a lot of unique parts, a lot of stickers, so it could even just run you all the way up to $399.99 US dollars. But all in all, just an overall beautiful design. So many minifigures. Like, just take a look at that. So there's a lot going on here. With a lot of it, looks like people... Honestly, you could make this into a murder mystery. You can make this into just like it is overall adventure set with people exploring the castle, but just such a beautiful design. But I want to hear from you all in the comments. Which set was your favorite from the Series 5 finalist? I am very curious to see, as the Bricklink community has very strong opinions, and rightfully so, because there is a lot going on with this design here. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, let me know in the comments. And hey, which one are you going to pick up? Do you think I nailed the prices? Very curious to hear all of your thoughts on this down below, and make sure you stick around, check out the YouTube channel, because I will be uploading individual close detailed looks for each of these sets. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.